And hello, one and all, and welcome to my weekly review for NXT. We're going to be taking a look at everything that took place on this week's edition of NXT, the July 27th edition. There were a number of announcements made on this show. There were also several matches that I did enjoy, so all in all, it was another enjoyable edition of NXT, as we are now only 3 weeks away from NXT TakeOver back to Brooklyn, August 20th on the WWE Network. It should be another great TakeOver event. But we had a lot on this week's edition of NXT to cover. So without further ado, I'm going to give you my full thoughts and opinions on everything that took place this week. So we kick things off this week on NXT with Shinsuke Nakamura being in action. He took on Wesley Blake of the former tag team Blake and Murphy. Nakamura made relatively quick work of Blake. He was able to hit him with the Kinshasa for the win, so not too much to say about this match, only that Nakamura continues to remain undefeated on NXT. The big announcement was, though, after this match, William Regal came down to ringside, and he made the announcement that at NXT TakeOver back to Brooklyn, it will be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. Huge bombshell, huge announcement made right there. The interesting thing was Samoa Joe was not present at that time. So you knew we were going to get a response from Joe, one way or another, on this week's show. And we would eventually find out what he thought of this later on in the show. But when I heard this, I was like, yes, I'm really excited for this match. You're taking a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura, an international superstar, and pitting him up against the wrecking force that is Samoa Joe. You know they're going to go out there and they're going to have one hell of a match, and it is certainly befitting to main event NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So I, for one, am looking forward to that matchup. It's going to be awesome. After this, we had women's action on NXT. We had Santana Garrett, versus Billie Kay. I like this match. I feel like these two women, if given the time and the build, could become, future pieces for the NXT women's division now that we had Carmella called up, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, So now that those women have been called up, this will give opportunity to other women like, say, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Santana Garrett, and these two women went out there and they had a pretty solid match. I liked what I saw here, and like I said, hopefully they get more opportunities in the weeks to come on NXT. The finish of the match came when Billie Kay was able to hit Garrett with a running big boot for the victory. So, Billie Kay victorious over Santana Garrett. Then we had a backstage segment. Bayley talked to William Regal for her rematch against Asuka. Regal agreed, and she will get her rematch against Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn. So, two huge announcements, two huge title matches for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. All I can say is it's already shaping up to be a stacked show. We're going to be getting Joe versus Nakamura, and now Bayley versus Asuka too. As was to be expected, it should be another classic. I enjoyed their match in Dallas, and I know I'm going to enjoy their match in Brooklyn. So that should be great stuff right there. And then after this, we had our next match of the evening. It was TM61. They defeated the team of Adrian Nails and Rob Rison. I really like TM61. They're fastly becoming one of my favorite tag teams on NXT. I definitely could see them becoming contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. In this match, they were able to hit all their moves, and they were able to get the victory after hitting the Thunder Valley for the win. Seemed to be over with the crowd. I, for one, am enjoying what I see each and every time they're in the ring. So, just a nice, solid win for a good tag team in TM61. Nothing more you can say right here. We then had No Way Jose taking on Steve Cutler. Jose won with the clutch bomb for the win, but the important thing was, after the match, he addressed the recent attacks. The attack by Austin Aries several weeks ago, where Aries just left Jose laying and, brutalized him, essentially. And Jose pretty much, called out Austin Aries. He said he's going to kick his ass. Jose, while what he said it didn't go on forever, it was short, it was sweet, to the point. You look into his eyes, you see this aggression forming, and I really like this promo by No Way Jose. I really like the fire and aggression that he showed, and I'd like to see more of this from No Way Jose. He can be the fun-loving, dancing guy, everybody have a good time. But I also want to see this No Way Jose. And if this keeps up, I am definitely interested in seeing a No Way Jose versus Austin Aries match, be it on NXT TV or perhaps at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. We'll have to see where they go with that. But really good promo by No Way Jose. I have to say I enjoyed it a lot. And then we had the debut of Kota Ibushi, who was recently partaking in the Cruiserweight Classic, as we all know. And he took on Buddy Murphy. This was definitely my match of the night. These two went out there and they had a pretty nice little match here. Pretty damn good match, I have to say. Bushi, he is truly a phenomenal athlete, and he definitely is a front runner to win the Cruiserweight Classic. And Murphy certainly held up in this match. The one spot in this match that I really liked was this nice looking kick to the head. It was sick. I mean, it sounded loud as hell. It looked great. And of course, Ibushi was able to get the victory after Murphy tried to set up Ibushi on the top rope for a superplex. Ibushi was able to get out of it and hit a last ride powerbomb, sit-out powerbomb for the victory. So Kota Ibushi, looking great on his debut on NXT TV. And then we had our last segment of the evening. Samoa Joe made his presence felt. He came down to the ring. He was livid. He was upset, as expected to be. Joe says, this ain't going to happen. I'm not going to be facing Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. That ain't happening. He said it's an oversight by William Regal for not consulting him. Joe is livid. He's upset. He's saying, we could go to the back and we can find any other number of opponents for me, but it will not be against Shinsuke Nakamura. Regal is fuming. He's incensed as well. He's like, I don't know who you think you are. If that's to be the case, then I will strip you of your NXT title and I'll find somebody else to face Shinsuke Nakamura at Back to Brooklyn. So Joe eventually knew that there was nothing he could do to get out of this. And he's like, all right, fine. Well, maybe Shinsuke Nakamura won't make it to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And just as he said that, Shinsuke Nakamura made his presence felt. He stood on the entrance ramp and stared down Samoa Joe, and that's how we closed out this week's edition of NXT. Overall, I thought this was a good show. It was several good matches on the show. I enjoyed the women's match, Kota Ibushi match, the build for Joe versus Nakamura, and the announcement of Bayley versus Asuka 2 at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. A lot of stuff to look forward to in the weeks to come on NXT. So, if I had to give this week's edition grade, I would give it a B-. A B- for NXT this week. So yeah, that's my full thoughts and opinions on NXT this week, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you all thought of NXT. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, peace.